Good morning, class. I'm going to do a quick overview for the second half of our distance learning week 2. While our next 3 assignments are still in draft form on my screen, by this time they're going to be posted on yours. You'll see that there are 3 Greek myths you're going to read before Friday. The first one is the Myth of Uranus. The next one is the Myth of Kronos and Zeus. And the last one is the Myth of Prometheus. Now, each of these myths has the myth in a PDF. They're about 1 to 2 pages long. They're not too daunting. There's a myth notes template you're going to be filling out, and there's also a video of me reading the myth. As you can see, this one's only 5 minutes because the story is not that long. Now I'm going to go ahead and model with you how to do the notes because we're doing something a little differently about doing it in PowerPoint slides. Here's what our model template looks like. And I modeled this after an assignment that I did for one of my SDSU classes, which I'll show you over here, way to map out a text that we read. And I really want you all to get visual with this, use arrows, use boxes, use colors, make it as colorful as you want. So for the myth, we're going to do the Myth of Uranus together. And these are going to be our notes on the myth in this portion here. So we know that the story of Uranus starts out with chaos. So I'm going to add that now. Chaos. And I'm going to go ahead and make this. I think I'm going to do everything in the same font because that's kind of just how I like it. So our Myth of Uranus starts off with chaos. Put that in the center. And from chaos, we get 3 different people. So I'm going to go ahead and draw arrows because these are 3 people that are coming from the chaos. I'm going to make my arrows a little bit shorter. Copy and pasting those. I'm making my arrows pink. You can make your arrows whatever color you want. So again, from chaos, and I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this text box to make it easier. We get 3 people. We get Gaia, which we know is the earth. She's also like the mother. You could think of her as Mother Earth if that makes it easier. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little smaller. We also get Tartarus, which is the underworld. And lastly, we get Eros, which is love and desire. So again, from chaos, we get Gaia, Tartarus, and Eros. Now we know that Gaia has lots of children, so we're going to add her children over here. Again, I'm going to copy my arrow just to save time. I think I'm going to make the arrow a little bit smaller this time because I'm trying to fit all this information on 1 page. You guys do not need to do more than these 2 pages of notes. So again, from Gaia, we're going to put all her children. So we have Uranus, Overa, which is myths, and we have Pontus, which is sea. Oh, I spelled that wrong, sorry. Myths. And make sure you capitalize all your names. They are proper nouns. And Pontus, which is the sea. Now you notice Pontus kind of sounds like Poseidon, who we'll learn later is the god of sea. Gonna make this even smaller because I just want to squeeze it in here. Now we remember that Gaia and Uranus get married, which I know is quite odd, but in Greek myths it's quite common for people to marry their siblings or their mothers, oddly enough. So we know Gaia. I'm going to go ahead and put plus Uranus. So we know that they got married. Ooh. And Gaia and Uranus have lots more children. So again, I'm going to copy and paste my arrow over. Extend it because I want to go further over here. And all the children that they have the 100-headed giants, which honestly sound quite terrifying, and there's 3 of them. They have Cyclops, again 3 of them. And they also have 13 Titans in total. Now the youngest of the Titans, actually I want this arrow. Guys, remember our youngest Titan name? It's very important. Our youngest Titan, his name is Kronos. So we're going to add Kronos over here. So our youngest Titan is Kronos. We need to add that he's, let's go like this, youngest. And helps mom kill, what's his dad's name? Uranus. And he does all this to gain power. Just go like this, make a little arrow, gain power. I wonder if it'll let me extend it all the way. Alright, so if you remember, Kronos mutilates his father by cutting them all up, which I think we're gonna add right beneath it. But I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little smaller. We'll go size 12. So he mutilates father and throws all the pieces into the ocean. We also know that from this, I'm going to add one more arrow. I'm going to go ahead and do my pink one because it's kind of our ending goal. We know that Uranus's blood seeps into the earth and creates the Furies. Remember to capitalize your names, everyone. Gonna make that a little bit smaller. And this is basically what I'm expecting you to do for your first page. Make sure you're getting the main points of the myths. I'm going to go ahead and transition on to our theme and moral of the story. So in thinking about the theme and the moral of the story, I'm going to start out as a complete sentence. A message that can be taken from this story is that cruelty will always be punished. Now if you'll remember, the cruelty in this story is Kronos eating all of his babies and all of his kids, and they stay in his stomach. He also promised his mom that he would free his uncles who were stuck in Tartarus, and he didn't. So vengeance may take a while to come, in the end it's gonna come. So it might take a while for vengeance to come, but in the end it always will. Now the last part of this is I want you guys to connect this story to the modern world, and you can really kind of think outside the box for this. Whatever you believe the main gist of the story is, go ahead and connect it to an event that you believe is relevant. For me, I feel like our message of the story is this idea that people can't get away with doing bad things, like Kronos was eating his kids, he broke a promise to his mom, and he really thought that he was going to get away with it. But in the end, vengeance did come for him. So I'm going to connect this to the Harvey Weinstein case that happened in February. Harvey Weinstein was convicted of sexual assault for many different actresses and celebrities and people who worked for him. And while it took a really long time for this to get brought to case and court, in the end he was sentenced to 23 years in prison. So the connection to the modern world is the case of Harvey Weinstein from February 2020. After multiple sexual assault, Weinstein was sent to 23 years in prison. So I'd like your connection to the modern world to be at least 2 sentences, as well as your theme. Again, you're doing these 2 pages of notes for each of the myths posted. Please make sure you're getting visual with your first page, and your theme and your moral. Your theme or your moral and your connection to the modern world are at least 2 sentences each. And this concludes our